And we are live for yet another episode of the Pigskin in the Mosh Pit podcast. And let me bring in the panel, the boys in the Mosh Pit. First off, co-founder and ex-lead singer of Mushroom Head, currently lead singer of Doom Candy, Mr. Jeff Hatrix.
How you doing, brother?
What's up, Jeff?
Not too much.
Also in the Mosh Pit, we have with us currently in One Life All In, also front man from the Spud Monsters, Mr. Don Foose.
Hey-o! What's up?
All right.
How you guys doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Pretty good. Also in the Mosh Pit, last but not least, we have with us drummer of Made in America, The Mob Rules, The Wall of Sleep. We also have a writer in the house, a sports writer, currently writing for Cleveland.com. And he's been writing for over about 20, 25 years. This guy is our legitimate sports guy. His name is Dan Gilles.
Howdy, everybody.
Hey.
Here we go, brownies. Here we go.
What up? All right, guys. Now, this has been a most interesting last couple of weeks here as a Browns fan, as we are officially in the playoffs. And it's not just that we're in the playoffs. I think it's just how we got there, how we even finished these last couple games off. Within 5 days, we just smash a couple teams, smack them around like we've never really done that before in these types of games. And we got a new guy on the block that seems very unlikely to be our hero. We have a lot to talk about. We want to find out what you guys think about what the hell's going to happen here. We have a lot of possibilities as the teams we're going to play here in the first round. Anyways, what's your guys' thoughts about this Thursday night game, this Joe Flacco, who just comes into these fucking games and he's whizzing the ball 20, 30 yards down the field to wide open dudes? This is something, I mean, I'm serious. We have not really seen a Browns team look like this really, like a long time, maybe like forever that I can remember, where the way they operate right now. And then the defense just comes in and just hammers people to death, like bludgeons them to death. I mean, like, is it possible that we could go to the Super Bowl? I mean, do you think it could happen? Let's talk to you, Jeff. What do you think, man?
I feel like Flacco's got way more excitement behind him than Kelly did with the Buffalo Bills when they went up 4 and lost them all. I think it's definitely like the Cardiac Kids 2.0, because the team is so decimated and they still find a way to get it done. It's like the Joker has come completely alive. Elijah was looking good before he got hurt. I mean, if Tillman could get his shit together, who knows what could happen. But, I mean, I think the sky's the limit. I think we're ranked 3rd or 4th in the power rankings, and national media is finally talking about us.
Yeah, man, big time too. Like what they're saying is things like, is there any team that can beat Baltimore? And I'll admit, man, Baltimore does look really good right now. I mean, for what it's worth, they're really looking good. But the thing is that they're all saying if there's a team that can beat them, pretty much it's Cleveland, and it's pretty much because of that defense. Really,
it's already happened once. We were down 14 twice.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this: you got the big game. It's not really a big game coming up, but every game feels big right now because you're just excited. You just want to watch more football with the Browns. But the big talk right now around town is, play them or rest them. And I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because everybody else did already pretty much on talk radio and stuff like that. But it is an interesting subject to talk about, as far as there seems to be 2 different takes on this. And I would like to hear what you guys think. I'll start with you, Dan. Rest them, start them. What do you think?
I am of the opinion that you start your guys, because I've seen it in the past where they've rested people, other teams, and then they go and they get off that break. They go into the playoffs and they're rusty. Like, I'll go with the 2020 Browns versus Steelers. Week before the playoffs, the Steelers rest Roethlisberger, their whole line. We win the game by 2. We go to their house. Roethlisberger's rusty. Pouncey's rusty. We jump out and get 28 on them before they even realize what happened. And to me, that's like the poster child of you don't mess with a good thing. You got to get these guys reps. I know we got injuries up and down, left and right, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But I feel like at least give Flacco a half, at least give Ford a half, at least give, if Cooper comes back, give him a half, just to keep them the game prep, just to have them, you know, get that extra experience. Now, Flacco, granted, he's probably fresher than every other quarterback in the league right now because he was on his ass for the first 11 to 12 weeks of the year. But I go back to, he's been playing so well these last 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Do you really want him to go and sit back down and then have him come back at being 39 at that point and say, okay, now you're fine. Let's go win a playoff game in Jacksonville or wherever they're going to be. I'm going to say Jacksonville right now. I don't want to tempt fate, but at the same time, you don't want to mess with a good thing. And I've seen how many times did Peyton Manning sit the last week of the playoffs and then he chokes in the first round that he plays in.
Right.
You know,
no, it's true.
You know, so it's like I get the logic behind wanting to rest guys, and I can see that, especially with the history of this year's team. So many guys on IR, but I really just think they should at least give these guys one half of football just to keep them fresh, to keep them out there, and then we can move forward with the playoffs.
What do you think, Don? Rest them? Start them?
I agree with Dan, but I think anybody who's injured right now, whoever's nursing an injury, you got Moore, you got who else do we have that's like injured? Like we have Cooper. Cooper's injured. Whoever's nursing an injury, you know, we got our kicker, our punter. I mean,
well, the whole offensive line is
they could sit, but I say, you know, treat it almost like a preseason game. Go through the motions. Don't put Flacco in harm's way. You know, give him, you know, hand the ball off, throw short screens, just be in the atmosphere. 33% of the teams that have a bye week win. So that means that 67% of the teams that aren't on a bye week that are still going through the motions, those are the teams that are winning. So, you know, we have it looks like we'll probably play Jacksonville, in my opinion, because I think they're going to walk through Tennessee, and then if we can win that game, I like our odds of having a home game, you know, bringing it back to Cleveland. So this game isn't so important, but we have to keep people playing, keep them in the swing of things. Don't let them sit, because as it is already, we've had 5 days off, and it's, you know, it's a short. We came off a short week. Now, you know, we've had rest. It's going to be 17 days before their first game, you know, if they sit.
So here's I'll give you my quick take on this, because I've done a lot of thinking about it, and I've heard both sides, and I think both sides are legit. I can understand what both are saying. So I guess here's my thinking about it, though. If Deshaun Watson's my quarterback, and this is no dig on Deshaun Watson whatsoever, but obviously Deshaun Watson can get rusty. And if Deshaun Watson is my quarterback, I play him. I make sure that guy's playing consistently. This dude, Joe Flacco, on the other hand, this dude looks like he could be in a coma for about 6 or 7 weeks and roll out of the coma into his pads and go throw for 3 touchdowns, maybe a couple interceptions, but in the meantime, 350 yards and win the game. Like that's been his whole career. You know, what he's doing isn't that crazy. It's just that he wasn't doing it for the last couple of years, and he's old. But the truth is that the dude's always had a missile for an arm. He's always thrown a few interceptions because most of his passes are 25 yards down the field, and he's always won. You know, for the most part, the guy was always pretty much a winner with Baltimore. They were a winning team with that dude. So what you're seeing right now is just Joe Flacco in a different system. You know what I mean? But I think definitely I rest my offensive line. and therefore I rest my quarterback. So like I just think that one makes almost forces the other, but I definitely rest my line. I just think that like those dudes those aren't skilled positions. So like rest for the offensive line to me can only benefit them. It's not, you're in my opinion. And so, but if you're not going to have those three middle dudes in there, or at least a couple of the three or whatever, I'm not keeping Flacco in there. So, and my opinion is I don't worry about that because Flacco, I think, is fine. The guy's fine. I mean, like, I don't know. He just gets in there and starts whizzing the ball down the field and they're catching it. I've never seen anything quite like it in Cleveland. So I guess in my opinion, like you said, Cooper, there's no way I play Cooper right now. I mean, the guy just missed this last game. There's no way I'm playing him. I think without Cooper, you're screwed. I think we've seen that, I really do. And so, yeah, that guy I sit, I don't play Flacco only because I don't play my line. And therefore that's it. Other than that, I think you just nurse your injuries and don't play the guys that are hurt. And that's
but like Dan said, play him some because 17 days, you're going to develop a little bit of rust. And you know what? Like even with Flacco's first 2 games with the Browns, he was throwing a lot of bad passes. I mean, stuff. The game speed, you kind of lose it if you're not in it every week. It's different than practice, and it's different than, just jumping in and playing.
I know, but four plays in, Rodgers' season was over. I think about it like that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we only needed a half versus the Jets, anyways.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we needed him for 1 half.
Yeah,
that was craziest game, man. But
yeah, 296 in the first half, unbelievable.
Well, I think a lot of things also happened in that game, and I think one thing you definitely saw that people just really don't talk about is they ran out of fucking gas, guys. I mean, like they just played 2 games with 3 days rest in between them, and they played fucking hard. I mean, their defense is impressive. Not just because they're good, but they all out. Their defense is all out all day long. That's another thing we're not used to.
We've never had depth like this.
Yeah, right.
No, we have not. We
had space takers.
We're really setting ourselves up like for a nice run here for the next 3 or 4 years, Yeah. And free agency it's going to be like people that defensive players are going to want to come here because like look at the depth. We're stacked.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Win.
Sergeant D. That's Schwartz. I'm calling him Sergeant D.
D.
I like that.
He's the Schwartz.
Hell yeah.
I think Brian's frozen.
What happened?
There he goes.
There he is.
Me?
And
I
you're
froze
back.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze
I
up.
just went up. I was just saying though, Sergeant D. Did you guys hear that part?
Oh yeah, I heard Sergeant D.
And I said use the Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yeah, use the Schwartz. I like that.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Jeff
But yeah, dude, that guy's really changed. I mean, like, he's come in there and really changed the whole team. I mean, like, I know Stefanski's the head coach, and I think he's doing a great job. But I just think that Schwartz was that was the hire that Barry gets the most credit for, in my opinion. I mean, that dude is just literally changed. Like, we've never had an identity. I mean, the elf is definitely not our identity. I mean, it's not that I hate the elf. I'm just saying we don't have like an identity, right? We've never had that. We've just been the Browns who gets made fun of a lot. All of a sudden, the Schwartz dude comes in, and now like what to expect when you watch the Browns, and what you're looking for, and when they're playing bad, why they're playing bad. They have an identity.
Yeah, it reminds me of Minifield and Dixon, and like back in the older days, in the 80s,
Well, yeah,
dog pound and.
No longer are we lost in the woods.
Right.
No, right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now we have the situation now where we know we're a 5 seed. It's locked. Nobody can fucking take that from us. But we don't know who we're playing. It could be one of 3 teams. And like Don said, it's the odds are heavy that it's going to be Jacksonville. But in this league, anything can happen, and he's not a perfect, healthy quarterback. And especially when you have that situation, it really makes it more unpredictable, I guess you would say. So it could be Indy, it could be Houston. Houston, I don't like. I'll be honest with you. Houston, of
Yeah,
the three,
CJ's back.
yeah, yeah. That scares me more than the other two. I have to say.
Got to blitz that guy.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that situation. That would be just the way we would end up losing. Would be the Ohio State guy. But I wonder, what do you guys? Who would you be the team you would most want to play?
I personally would like to see the Jaguars, just for the fact that, what's his name?
Who, the Prince?
Heather Locklear. She's all banged up.
Yeah, big
shoulder
time.
injury, leg injury,
Yeah.
just banged up. So yeah, that would be great. But Minshew tore us up when that was a high scoring game to go against, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
And then CJ Stroud's been tearing it up against everybody. They both kind of scare me. But
yeah,
I don't mind going against Lawrence in a warm climate,
Yeah, that's my part. Should be
Yeah.
warmest of 3.
Yeah, so you guys all Jacksonville? You think that's who you want to play more? I mean, obviously Indianapolis wouldn't be so bad. I wouldn't care to play them, but the odds of that are not good. What do you think, Dan?
I would go. I would say Jacksonville. Indy would be good because it's so close. So I think we get a lot of fan representation in Indy.
Yeah, good point.
And plus we beat them, and they have Minshew. We beat them with Walker at quarterback, so I would assume we'd be better with not Watson. Well,
Flacco.
Watson, yeah, the Flacco at quarterback. I think we'd be better with, this time around. But we did beat Jacksonville at home, and Lawrence is banged up, and we've shown that we could handle him. So I think either one of those would be ideal. I'll go Jacksonville 1, Indianapolis 2, Houston 3.
Yeah.
And plus Florida's a lot of transplants. There's a lot of Clevelanders down there.
Oh, there's all kinds of Cleveland fans in Florida.
Oh yeah. I have a sister there. I don't know if she's a Jackson. She actually lives in Jacksonville too. So I really don't know if she's a fan of Jacksonville or Cleveland. I really don't. But how they like to once they get down there, they're like, well, I'm still a Browns fan, but I'm this and that. So what happens when this happens? I don't know. I whatever. But I heard Mary Kay Cabot today say on the radio that she guaranteed they were going to win the first game. She said there's no doubt they would win this game. There's no doubt. They're just going to win. That's what she said. They're just going to win. That's what she said. Yeah, well, it's just the weirdest thing that happens to us Clevelanders, and I wonder if it happens to all fans in America and stuff like that. But we get slapped around a lot as fans, as Cleveland fans. I mean, ever since I was a little kid. I mean, and that goes for all sports. Literally all 3 sports. The LeBron James miracle is the only time I wasn't, and I was almost slapped around that year too. But it's whatever happened. Other than that, it's always been that way, But yet we get sucked in. We'll get sucked back in. If the situation looks good enough, and I think to a lot of people, this situation looks good enough. I think that what's happening here, just we're not used to, and we're like, well, that didn't happen every other time, and that the referees are throwing flags against them, and they're questionable calls against them, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, this ain't supposed to happen, but when it does, even those are the things that give you weird hope that there's differences and things that are changing and things that are on the horizon or whatever. And I think honestly, that I feel the same way in a way. I think that they could win this thing. I mean, you know what, dude? Baltimore looks really good, but the team that always scared me for the last, I don't know how many years, is Kansas City. And they're not that good.
They're beatable now.
Very.
Kind of one-dimensional.
Tyreek Hill along with Mahomes, that was the heartbeat of that team.
Well, yeah, that really opens
sense.
Yeah, and so my thing is I mean, I know we can beat Baltimore. I just know you can. I know we can. So it's I think the writing's on the wall here. And if San Fran's the best in the NFC, well, I'm sorry, but I don't think Purdy can handle the pass rush. I think that's where he folded. I think that pass rush. Listen, man, all year I've been watching, I've been counting. You get 2 fucking seconds if you're lucky. That's what you get. If you're lucky, you get 2 seconds, and that's because they doubled Miles Wright for one play, and they got an extra third of a second out of him. Dude, they are throwing the ball under 2 seconds constantly, and that's why our backs are making these. That's why, was it Hickman? He looks like Sanders, looks like Deion Sanders right now. Why? Because they have 2 seconds to throw the ball. So anybody right now, our backs are so much getting the benefit of our line. It's insane to watch, actually. And these quarterbacks aren't getting sacked because they're throwing the ball within 1.5 seconds. 2 yards down the field, man. Yep. It's nuts. It's so much fun to watch, though, right? I mean, shit, man. I wish this game didn't. I wish it counted for something. It's gonna suck. It's like another whole week with no football, man.
Well, you know what I like about it is that, you know, the depth in our lineup is going to get some playing time. So in the case that, in case they do have to come in, they're going to be prepared. You know.
Oh yeah.
Get everybody reps. That's what the preseason is about. Get everybody reps and find out who's the best, and then, you know, next man up been our mantra all year.
Yeah, man. That stupid saying that I hated all my life when people said it, because you always knew they were full of shit. Yeah. Everyone was so full of shit when they said it. They were like, you got this guy who's 5'2" filling in for the guy who's 6'4". You're like, next man up. You're like, no, it ain't the same.
Yeah. Hey, Ohio State just lived that next man up BS, and oh my God.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah,
19 people opted out.
That's pathetic. Yeah. And you know, and that's my team. I mean, I confess, I'm a huge Ohio Stater.
Me too.
But
it's next man up didn't cut the mustard.
Yeah.
No.
And I hate calling for people's jobs, and I hate a lot of things, but Ryan Day's starting to annoy me. And that's he's reached that point where, like, I've been backing him and I've been backing him and I've been backing him. But at some point, you know, you just get to that point where, you know,
Cooperitis.
I can forgive everything. Like I don't care about what you've done, like, outside of the gridiron.
Yeah, whatever. Yes. Two of the quarterbacks in the playoffs, Quinn Ewers and JJ McCarthy. McCarthy wanted to go to Ohio State.
Yeah,
they didn't want him.
Yeah,
and then Ewers was there, and they didn't use him, so he's like, I'm out of here. So we're looking for a quarterback. We have 2 of them in the Final Four. Go figure.
Well, Burrow too. I mean, there's a lot of those, like, moments in the last 5 years or so in Ohio State history where there was, like, the fork in the road, and they picked the wrong one, or they picked the not as great one. You know, like, you still get 2 great players every time going when it comes to Ohio State, but just the one that was, you know, Burrow ends up being incredible. You know what I mean? So who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know. I miss Urban Meyer. I don't care.
I do too.
Yeah. And Jim Tressel. I love Jim Tressel. Yeah. Like, I miss them guys. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I really don't give a shit what the hell you did. I really don't care. I really don't care why people don't like you now or whatever. This is a different world we live in where, to a lot of people, that stuff matters. To me, dude, go out there and just win us some games, man.
Yeah.
Get it. Beat Michigan again, dude. I can't take that no more.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, we almost had no edge rushers this past season.
Yeah.
I mean they played all right, but where were the sacks? They had Boza, Chase Young, and Ohio State lives on that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: if let's just say we go play Jacksonville, we already played Jacksonville. What do you think will be different this time around as far as how, you know, that game will go? I mean, he's pretty banged up, but he was pretty banged up when we played him last time. He literally, it was like a miracle. He had a high ankle sprain, if I remember right, and it was like nobody thought anyone could play. And this dude goes out and he actually played the game. I mean, it was pretty impressive. What do you think? Do you think they have a chance? I mean, what do you think? What's your? I'm gonna send this one to Don. Don, what do you think?
If Trevor Lawrence plays, we're going to bring the heat nonstop. They're going to make him rush his throws. He's going to be throwing off balance, and with bad legs, that's going to equate to turnovers. And we're going to need to get turnovers, you know, takeaways, and we have got to manage the game properly. So Flacco can't be turning the ball over. Njoku can't be fumbling. Our receivers need to be catching the balls. But I think I think the biggest key is that the defense has got to bring the heat against Trevor Lawrence if he's the quarterback. You know,
what makes you think it's what? Like, okay, let me ask you like this: what's the possibility that that won't happen? Like, what? How is it even possible at this point after watching 16, 17 games of this defense? That I mean, to beat this defense, you're going to have to pull off some. Here's what I've been seeing these other teams that have done well against our defense, and if you notice, it only happens in spurts. Like, nobody's really put together a complete dominating game, but they've done enough a couple times in spurts to beat us. A couple big plays they break and stuff, and a lot of that's just because of our aggressive defense. We're so aggressive that if you do get behind us, you win. You know what I mean? And that's the name of the game. That's the gamble on this kind of a defense, that you know we're playing very aggressive. The problem for most teams is they just can't get away from us.
Well, the coverage packages that we're putting together are good, but you know, Martin Emerson's getting burned, and then 70-yard play. It looks like our defense had a bad series, but it's one big chunk.
And tackling
goes on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the tackling's been a little messy at times too. That's costed us some big plays too.
That's missing Grant Delpit.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Definitely.
Good point. But I will say, JOK been playing his ass off this year.
Oh my God, he's amazing.
Yeah, and they're all like that. Even Newsome, like it's amazing because you can't really throw off. You can't throw those little dumps to the outside in the flat over there against our defense, and you have to almost, because you got, like I said, 1.5 seconds to throw it. So you want to call those plays, but you watch every time they try to call those plays, either our linebacker or cornerback, they are immediately break on that guy with the ball, and you have no chance. And sometimes there's 2 and 3 of them breaking on that dude immediately. I mean, like, I've never seen Cleveland defense play that aggressive, but if you get past those, you're gone. You know what I mean? And that's been, this is year 1 too. I mean, like, man, could you imagine if we can stick this defense together for a couple years? And I hate to talk down the road, but still, I mean, like, this is year 1.
Yeah.
So what do you think, man? So what are we thinking? Are we thinking we thinking that, I mean, can we think like Baltimore? What's the road? What's the road to the Super Bowl? So what we're going to start it off, and we're going to play Jacksonville, right? Does anybody really know? As I haven't looked it up. Does anybody know how does that play out?
So, excuse me. So if the Browns win, and if the 2 seed loses and the 3 seed lose, then the Browns would be the highest seed left, not Baltimore. So it would be Browns at home versus either
I see.
Dolphins,
Kansas City,
or Buffalo, whoever loses out in the East, or whoever loses out in the South, which would be either Indianapolis or Houston at home. Baltimore would be on the other side, probably playing the Chiefs. So then if we win that game, Baltimore wins, then we go to Baltimore for the AFC Championship game, which if their NFL does have a script, that would be the perfect script to write, because there's so many demons to exercise with that game. So many.
If you could do the Baltimore championship right into the Detroit Super Bowl, it's like you've covered so many things in 1 year. It eliminates so much stuff, and there's such a huge Browns fan base nationwide. At least there used to be.
There still is.
Yeah. I'm sure of it.
What I think would be amazing is if Baltimore wins every game till we face them in the playoffs, because they're going to be all high on this probably 7-8 game win streak then.
Yeah,
and that'd be the amazing time to take them out.
Yeah, and I saw Jackson, and he is playing his ass off, but he's high on himself right now. He's feeling pretty good about himself. That's exactly how I want. It's exactly how I want him feeling. Like I want to see him taking a few extra little chances here and there, because he is an amazing athlete, but he's still a frail dude, and he's proven to be breakable. So like, go ahead, dude, do your thing.
Play running back some more.
Do you know that the last team to beat Baltimore was the Browns, and the last quarterback to beat them was Watson?
Yeah. Well,
That's
hey,
awesome.
man.
But how sweet would that be if Flacco goes in and does it? The team that gave
Oh
up,
yeah.
you know,
Well-
and then do it in Baltimore where our team moved, and and just get one over on Modell, and
It's a movie script.
it is.
Yeah, man.
Amazing. And then we got to think about next year too. What are we doing? Are we offering Flacco the kind of money that some of
another
these?
team will.
What's that?
Then another team will, like $8 million maybe or something like that.
I think he's worth every bit of $8 million as a backup, or because look at us now. We're 4 quarterbacks in. Our quarterbacks don't stay standing erect. So I think it's a great insurance policy.
I just think it comes down to one thing only. Does he want to start, or is he willing to be a backup? Period. That's what.
I have a theory on this too. His kids, I hear, they love it here in Cleveland. They love seeing his dad playing for the Browns, and I think a wife and children really have a lot to do with any pro athlete's decisions that they make. So if he brings home the Lombardi here to Cleveland and they instantly become Browns fans, they're like, yeah, come on, let's do this again,
Yeah,
and
man.
if you think about
it'd be great. If I played here, I'd want, my son, Giant, he's watching right now. And he was like, hey, let's stay here in Cleveland. I'd be like, let's do it, bud. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere else anyway.
And if you think about it, really, to me, if that was the case, there'd really be no backup. It's like you have a great quarterback in either situation.
Oh, yeah, right. You have like 2 starters. You just have one that's
you could
$250 million. Yeah,
yeah.
They're both pretty rich dudes. I mean, wasn't Flacco the highest paid quarterback twice? I believe twice
he was
the highest paid quarterback. Yeah, so he's doing okay in his own right, which makes the story, again, that's just another fold of the whole story that makes it even more kind of nuts, is that here's a dude who's already won the lottery twice.
Yeah.
Right? And this dude ain't, like, he don't want to stop at all. I mean, like, and he's, and come on, man, if that's your motivation, if the game is the motivation, just playing the game, then you're right when you say that Baltimore game is going to be stellar. That's going to be, because that's his stake in the game. They gave up on him.
Yeah.
That's not, no matter what, it's an athlete. That's how you think, man. They gave up on me. And granted, they got a great quarterback. This guy could win his 2nd MVP this year, blah, 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 whatever. But they gave up on me. And
that's the entire motivation.
Yeah. What a great storyline,
Yeah. Did I freeze up?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I thought you were just looking chill there for a minute.
Yeah, dude. He's like, why has he got that stupid grin on his face? I don't know what's going on with that. Medina's
you know what's funny is I follow some Baltimore Ravens fan pages, and they were all like hype on Flacco coming back, and they're like, yeah, but they're like, I hope we don't face him in the playoffs. I hope we don't face him in the playoffs. So they're already kind of dreading the potential of a Browns Ravens Flacco versus Lamar in Baltimore AFC Championship game. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I really hope it happens.
I kind of almost hope that the Steelers get into the playoff race too somehow, and we get a home game against them and just beat the hell out of them.
Fuck yes, dude. I agree with that 100%.
Those stupid Steeler fans with their dumb towels.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Wipe your tears with them.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I work with a dude from Pittsburgh, and they want Tomlin out, and I'm like, you guys definitely, you should definitely fire that guy. I keep telling him that. I'm like, yeah, you guys definitely should fire him.
I actually have a Steelers fan in the room. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
There he is. How you doing? I got a towel. I'm dumb. Oh, Foose is coming
the
back.
real one? Is that the one from the video, dude? Is that from the video?
Yeah.
Is that?
I did it for dog food.
Oh man.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
That guy's an idiot.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You let that guy in your
The
house?
Browns.
What the hell? Oh my god, that's so fucking great, man. Oh my
Browns.
god. Yeah, it is nice to watch them though struggling and shit like that. But it is funny. Like when I heard that they were the fans were calling for Tomlin, I'm like, you fuckers are worse than Cleveland fans. Dude. Are you crazy? I mean, like I would want nothing more than to see that dude and Harbaugh too, like out for like just go ahead, fire both them dudes.
Get them out.
I don't want to see them dudes anywhere near the North.
17 straight winning seasons for Tomlin, and people are calling for his job.
Yeah,
they don't know what it's like to be a Browns fan. Like Stefanski, doing what he's done in his short tenure is like amazing.
Dude, right now their quarterback situation for them, they're like, oh god, it's to us. It's like, really, dude. In the last 20 some years, those quarterbacks you guys got would be pretty good on our team. I mean, really, I mean, like we've had like the worst of the worst year after year after year after year. All these things. These, like I said before, too. I'm really enjoying watching other teams lose their minds over like a bad call that cost them a game. I'm really enjoying
Kansas City.
That was so fun to watch
Throwing helmets.
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch that. To me, I get off on that, because I'm just like, yeah, you fucking people were the ones that used to say, oh, you Browns people are such assholes, and oh, you don't know it, and they'd make fun of us. I hear a lot of Browns fans, and I think they need to check themselves when they say this, especially the ones who call in to the radio, and they're talking about games that we've just barely won or games that we might not should have won, and they're like, oh, that game, I barely won that one, blah, 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 and I'm like, you know what? All these fucking great teams in the last 20 years, you know how many fucking of those wins they got from us?
Yeah, barely. Yeah,
where they just eked out games, beating us by some unbelievable play that only God himself could come down and make happen, but that would happen game after game, year after year, and it just would always happen. Oh
yeah, that Rashard Higgins goal line play against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Dude, we could sit here and have 17 podcasts just about the moments that you remember and going through one after the other. But teams benefited from all that for years and then went on and win Super Bowls because of it. And were seated higher in playoff spots because they beat the Browns, because the Browns because the guy took his helmet off. Like whatever. So it's like I don't care how I win. I don't care how I beat you. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care how the referees acted. I love it all. I want to see you all miserable.
I used to hear all the time about how it was sour grapes by the Browns fans. We were complaining too much about referees.
Yeah.
Oh, you get over it. It's one call doesn't change a game. Blah 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 blah. And what do you hear now in today's NFL? Oh, the refs did this. The refs were that. The refs are awful. They cost this team and our team and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting back like, yep.
So horrible to watch.
Preach to the choir, motherfuckers.
My heart bleeds. My heart bleeds. So
it's the first time since '99 we're actually getting calls.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't remember another season.
Even bad ones. Look, man, wasn't it the Indy game with those calls at the end of the game were just atrocious? And we won because of them fucking calls.
It's uncatchable. It's a penalty.
Hey, not only are we getting the calls, but we're also getting the breaks. Like the San Francisco game, the last second field goal, doink. It's
in
like
front of family.
Yeah, and it was the kicker that used to play at Michigan. Like that's a double.
This past game, more of that catch. Was it this past game or was it 2 games ago? This past game. Where the receiver gets it, the ball's flinged up in the air, and it just lands right in his arms.
Oh,
gone.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as that happened, I'm like, that never, ever, ever happens in a Cleveland uniform.
It's Jim Brown. Jim Brown's bringing
the ghost of Jimmy?
The ghost of Jim Brown.
Well, think about it. The Joker's been okay.
Jim Brown, baby.
The Joker's been a great blocker. He's been an okay receiver. All of a sudden, he's the best tight end in the league.
I mean, just behind Kelsey. Kelsey's got more catches.
Yeah.
But
for what we've been getting from him, I'll take it.
Yeah. Remember we had Greg Little dropping everything for all that time?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, though. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was going to remember to bring this up on this show. when Njoku was dropping them balls, it was only for a few games there, and it was right after that burn. That dude was burned up out there and playing football, and those few games he was not very good. But that dude was burned up, man. I mean, let me just say this: he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude. I have nothing against Njoku whatsoever.
Oh no.
I really like the guy a lot. I wasn't sure what to think of him for years because we pay him a lot of money and he was never really as productive as I thought.
He was like on the cusp, but now it's all come to fruition.
Well, it just shows you if you throw him enough passes.
Last game, no touchdowns, about 153 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
definitely a factor.
Yeah, he's amazing to watch. He's fun, and that's the other thing about these guys. They're fun to watch play football. I mean, winning is cool, but the way they do it is fun. But, people don't really. We've seen good defenses back in the '80s. We've seen that before. So this ain't the very first one of these we've seen, but it's way more fun to watch football when your defense kills people. It's just way more fun. I know offense is fun and scoring's great and all that's great, but defense is like. I can't wait for our defense to come on the fucking field, dude. I just can't wait. I'm like, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's the greatest thing, man. It's the greatest thing.
Love
so let me get some predictions with you guys. We're gonna assume this game don't matter. We're gonna assume it's Jacksonville. I want to get some predictions from you guys. Like, do you guys think kill close? What are you thinking? Let's start with Dan. Dan, what do you think? Kill close? What do you think?
First playoff game, you mean?
As far as this weekend's game or the playoff game?
No. Cincinnati, I just don't even care about. I really don't. I just don't care. I just think that it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters for either team. You know what I mean? Why would it matter for Cincinnati or Cleveland? It does matter, really. So
pride, really.
Yeah, it's just it really doesn't make a difference. Yeah,
I'd like to see him get one more win, though.
I would like it.
First time the Browns have ever won 12 games. I mean,
I would like it, but I think it's just as I think no matter what they do, it's just as because Cincinnati has nothing to play for either, really.
I feel like we'll still win.
Yeah. I just wouldn't jeopardize a lot.
I think we're going to run the ball well. Pierre Strong, I think, is the best running back on the team, other than Nick Chubb.
I
love Pierre Strong.
I kind of agree with you. He's
ball
impressed
security, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Dan was going to talk.
He seems the strongest, which is funny because it's his name.
So what do you think, Dan? We go into Jacksonville. The reason I'm asking is because Mary Kay Cabot today goes on and literally said, and she's like, like the reporter. She goes on and says, no doubt they're going to win that first game. I was like, oh, wow. What do you think?
I'm not that I've been too much of a jaded Cleveland sports fan my whole life to say anything is a sure thing, because we've seen anything can happen to a Cleveland sports team. It just does. That being said, I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think. I think Jacksonville will hang around a little bit. I could see us winning by at least 10. I would say a good one would be 33-23. Defense makes a lot of key stops. Of course, they'll probably give up at least one big play because they always do. And Flacco will throw at least one interception because he always does. And it'll lead to a touchdown, which it usually does. But I think that in those conditions, it's going to be warm in Florida. I think it does good for the pass game. I think Ford is going to have a little more experience, a little more confidence in himself going into that game. The line should be a little bit more healthier. Hopkins should be healthy, so that's going to be a key. I would say 33-23 Browns. I'm comfortable with that.
10 points. I like it. I gotta tell you right now, I'm impressed with 10-point win. I will take that in a heartbeat. Don, what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I think we're coming out of the gate fast. It seems like under Kevin Stefanski, the offense always comes out on that first drive and does well. It's always scripted. They always move fast, get down there quick, and they put up some points. So I think if we strike first, I'm not a big fan of us winning the coin toss and taking the first kick, though.
Me neither.
I like being able to get your
halftime
bearings after a while. Second half, after the pep talk, come out and strike. But
I agree. Unless you score a touchdown on that first drive, then that
which
changes.
we do quite often.
Right. I agree. I agree with you though on that. I love deferring unless you score a touchdown on that first drive. If you're going to score a touchdown on the first drive, well, you can't argue with that.
I think we're going to put up 35 plus against the Jacksonville Jaguars, though, and it's up to Lawrence how many points they're going to get. But I think our defense is going to pressure him, keep him off balance, and I think we're going to win big.
Nice, another big win. What do you think, Jeff? I know you like this one.
I think it'll be at least by 7. I think they just can't play conservatively. Even if they get a lead, they need to not take their foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
Just keep attacking on both sides of the ball, and it should really not even be a question. I think Mary Kay could be right.
And I gotta say, if there's Cleveland fans are funny. They wanted Stefanski's head, they wanted his head. If there's one thing about Stefanski that I've picked up on is that he will keep his foot on that pedal. I mean, he's not he's really not a conservative person, like, ever. Even when like you ought to be, like, that's my beef on him if I have one. Even when I feel like he ought to be more conservative, he just lets it fly and says fuck it. Well, you know what, dude? It served them well. They've won 11 games. That's almost impossible to me. I don't even know. When Chubb went down, I was ready then to almost. I was pretty much done. It was second game, more Browns. That's all I could think. I was so depressed for a week. Then you hear Watson's done. First you go through all the Watson drama, and as a Browns fan, you just don't want any more fucking drama. You're so done with all that bullshit, and here we are back in this drama again, and listening to the Watson haters, and then you end up still winning all them games. And how the hell did we just switch?
I don't know,
dude. That was
everybody switched.
That was some sorcery type shit just now.
I think that
my hands are down here, like I ain't even touching nothing. That's pretty.
I use the Schwartz.
Jim Brown in the house.
Sergeant D, man, he's gonna have him ready, dude.
Yeah, he's coming for you.
Yeah, they'll be doing the march of the SOD somewhere around second quarter. I predict it. I'm telling you, dude, I love it, man. I love it. So, awesome. What about the fucking Amari Cooper situation? Do you guys agree with me that we definitely have a problem as far as, like, if that dude goes down in the playoffs, like, they need to make sure Amari Cooper stays upright? I'm not sure about Moore. I'm just not sure. He doesn't,
Cooper's our best route runner. We need him.
And he catches a lot. He catches a lot of weird.
He's been dropping some stuff too, but I like his hands, though. Generally speaking,
he goes up and gets them. That's what he does.
He's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, but it just worries me. And he's like, I don't know if you guys watched a lot of footage of Jim Brown. Footage. But you ever notice how Jim Brown always looked hurt after the play?
Yeah.
Like he always would get up and he'd be limping, and he'd be slow to the huddle. Jim Brown always made the other team feel like they got him and then he'd run him over the next play. Do you ever notice how Cooper does the same type of stuff? You ever notice how Amari Cooper always looks like something hurts on him, like he hurt something? Every time he gets tackled, he gets up and he's like slow, and you're always like, uh-oh, Cooper don't look right. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's the LeBron James of the Cleveland Browns.
But I don't know if it's that or if he's just that head game dude who just always wants everyone to think that he's slowed down. Yeah, you got it. And then he just to give him maybe a slight advantage because he's not that fast, but he's always open.
Yeah. I love them.
That's the other thing. They're always open, right? The Browns are open now. That was never the case.
It's like Walgreens.
I mean,
what?
So do you guys agree with me, though, they should rush the line, the offensive line? What do you agree with that?
I think there's certain guys that don't really, to me, feel like they have backups. I don't know how deep.
Keller, Batonio, and the center.
Keller, Bosick or Posick.
Yeah, those three for sure.
That's what I say. But I don't like you said. I don't know that you can pull the whole middle out.
I mean, you got Dunn and Harris. I mean, I don't know how.
Dunn, Harris, yeah, definitely.
We got the other center, Whippler or whatever.
I think I would
play the third team. Who cares? Yeah. But hey, like what Dan said, though, I think it would be great if you could get. I think most importantly, Flacco, just get him in there, handing the ball off, throwing some bubble screens, whatever. Just get in there and stay in the quickness of everything. You know, you don't want to get that rust going into a playoff game. That's 17 days off since the last game. You know, if you sit this one out.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that thinking too. I mean, I see, like I say, I totally get both sides of this argument. Totally, it makes sense to think both ways. I mean, why what time allows flesh to heal. So why wouldn't you think that that's the best remedy? Also, when people in sports, especially this type of sports where everything is precision and down to split seconds, well, practice and repetition plays a part in that also. So it goes both ways.
So Mary Kay said today that, she's expecting Pierre Strong to get at least 20 carries Sunday. And I'm telling you what, if he's running the ball 20 times, he's going to, I tell you what, man, that guy hits the gap, man. He hits like McCaffrey. Like he just shoots to the hole. He doesn't stutter step like Ford or Hunt. Watch. It's going to be a ground game.
So I had that. We had that little discussion before we went on air. What do you guys think about Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that he's available right now. They just cut him, right?
Yeah, they cut him.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got rid of his guaranteed money. Like he's a free agent once he clears waivers.
Really?
He's got some rapport with Stefanski too.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time rapport. Yeah. I mean, like that's where Stefanski cut his teeth, was in Minnesota, and that's where Cook was a great running back. And you can retread these dudes. And not only can you retread these dudes, but a lot of football players are a victim of their line. And when you have an offensive line who can open holes for you, and you were once a great running back, you can get a few games of 100-yard carry. You know what I mean? That's all. That's all we need right now. That's all we need.
He's got fresh legs. They haven't been playing him.
Yeah, that's all we need. We need 4 wins. We need 4 wins.
A running back could get knocked out of there in a heartbeat like anyone else. And how much depth do we have?
I don't know. No, you're right. You're right. All right. So,
what was our other little quick discussion we had right before we came on?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Dan had a thought on it, and then we were like, save it for the show.
Oh yeah, Dan started talking about something, and I was like, yeah, don't talk about it because we want to do it now.
Oh, my theory about why there's so many injuries.
Oh,
so
good.
I don't know if you remember back when they were negotiating the new labor contract. When they had that lockout, and the union negotiated fewer practices, no two-a-days, shorter training camps, more days off during the week. All of these things were collectively bargained and agreed to. And now if you notice, all these injuries are starting to pile up all across the league.
Yeah.
The union made their own bed with this. They negotiated for less practices, less strenuous, more time free. Sure. And what happens? These guys aren't in condition, and their bodies are breaking down.
Yeah, I mean, I
blame the union.
I mean that's the theory. That is the theory is that because of these I don't know what the word is, lessened of camps and stuff like that, shortened, lessened, no pads, no contact, no this, no that, 1-a-days instead of 2-a-days. There was a reason for all that stuff, and I think it hardens you, it scars you, like, you know what I mean? It gives you it builds that like toughness in you when you're taking shots early on and off and for what it's worth, they're going to have to start doing studies on this.
What do you think, Don?
What's that?
I said, what do you think, Don? You're a trainer.
Oh, that's everything Dan said. Plus, we're playing an extra game. It's going to be up to 18 games eventually. The owners want it to be 18 games a season, so it's going to go up. There's going to be more injuries. People just aren't cut as tough as they used to be. Remember, they used to be doing these 2-a-days and like
concussion. What's that?
Get
back out there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get to the point too
where as soon as you stop wobbling,
they're going to put a flag on the quarterback because they're not going to let you touch him anymore.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there goes Big Bry.
Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. I'm back.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
Oh, there goes the host.
I knew that was
Wild
coming.
Scorpions.
There he is.
I knew that was about to happen. I fucked up.
I really had a blackout.
Yeah, I also think there's another thing to this that nobody talks about, and I think that there's another facet, and I think that speed right now is such a dynamic in football that I think you give up a lot of size because of speed. I think you give up some strength. Yeah, I think you give up some strength because of speed. I think that there's, in order to get one, you have to give up a little of the other. I think we might be seeing that like the training has gone in that direction some, and I think that maybe that the blows with that kind of training aren't melding well, and I think that you don't have as strong of an athlete. You have a faster athlete, more
Denzel.
built more.
Denzel,
yes,
Newsome, Delpit,
yeah.
They're all like those strong guys.
Right, super fast, but when you're hitting Henry at full speed and you're half his weight, I don't care how much muscle mass or how, when you're lean like that, you take those blows, boy, I tell you what, I mean, I think part of it is that also. I mean, these guys aren't those huge safeties that we used to see back in the day that were monsters and just headhunters and stuff like that. These guys are cover guys now. They're out there. They want to cover people now because of the speed of the wide receiver, the passing game. It's changed everything. So I think part of it is just the game has gone to speed, and I think people aren't built like they were.
And they're not tackling the way when I grew up in Pop Warner, you're wrapping your arms around the guy and tackling. They're diving and throwing shoulders into people, which
and guess what? You have a lot right now.
Yeah,
shoulder injury.
Nick
yeah, you have a ton of them right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, concussions.
With the head. Yeah.
A lot of wobbly people.
Yeah.
You have seen a lot of that more. Like,
right.
And it's funny too. I don't remember seeing as many wobbly people until they have all this concussion protocol thing now. Now they're all wobbling. You notice that?
Yeah.
I think that the way the NFL is officiating some of these with the big hits, I think it's made it so now when there is one, people's bodies aren't used to them no more. Back in the day, people were getting hit every other play, and they were getting back up, and they kept going.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one big hit and there's a flag, and then all of a sudden this guy is dinged up, seeing stars, stinger in his shoulder, whatever. I think they go hand in hand. I hate to say it. I think they've dumbed the league down. Dumb is the proper word. They've less toughened the league enough to where now the guys are breaking down.
Yeah, they Pittsburgh Steelered it.
I mean, and again, I'm not going to. I think that this is all part of it. I think all of these things, what you're saying, and I also think that, to be honest with you, I think that these guys are making so much money now. I think that softens you. I'm just of that thinking. I think that these guys that when you have $100 million, when you're not playing football, you're doing nothing football related whatsoever at all. I mean, you have nothing. You don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys have it, so they're not even mentally. Your head is, where's your head on your yacht? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think there's a number of reasons why we're seeing all that and stuff. I'm just glad that we're seeing the Browns winning games. That's all I can say about that. And I'm glad to see that one of the dudes who ain't down and out is Myles fucking Garrett. That's another thing I'm glad to see, because that animal is what drives this team, in my opinion. I mean, that's the dude that drives the whole team. You lose Garrett, done.
Yeah,
I hate
to say it, but you're right.
She was questioning if he should play. Hell no, he shouldn't play this week. But she's like, well, because he could be the defensive player of the year. Who cares about?
Yeah, I heard her say that.
Individual.
He shouldn't be allowed to drive either.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't let him drive. Don't let him hang around.
No Porsche for you,
Jr.
No, dude. You stay home.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's about it for us, man. That's it. Time's up. That was pretty fucking cool. Another good one, man. Hopefully, when we're talking next week, we're talking about a full healthy team. We're talking about, like we already know who we're playing. Yeah, I think that's who it's going to be too. I really don't see Tennessee putting up much of a fight in that game at all.
Yeah.
That's a weird team, Tennessee. I that's just a weird team.
I thought they were going to be good this year.
At least decent. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish that
sucked.
trade happened at the deadline.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. And then put him in the backfield with Chubb when he comes back. Watch Chance just rumble.
My God, that would be insane.
All right, everybody. That's
Take
it
it
from
easy.
us down here in the mosh pit.
Go Browns.
Go
Yes,
Browns,
go
baby.
Browns, man. And we will see
Go
you guys.
Browns, baby. Woohoo!
Browns.
See you guys
Later,
next
guys.
Tuesday, 8:30. Later.
Peace out.
Later.